The Imperium of Man possesses countless warships, from small escort vessels like frigates to gigantic battleships capable of unleashing hell on anything that poses a challenge. However, a few ships stand far above the rest. These are not simply large vessels with more guns. Many contain lost technology from humanity's distant past, ancient weapons that can no longer be reproduced, or enough firepower to defeat entire fleets. Some are fast and heavily armed, while others are so enormous that they function more like moving fortresses or artificial worlds. This ranking here looks at their overall combat power by comparing their size, weapons, durability, technology, and importance. A ship does not have to be the largest to be powerful. Ancient weapons or advanced technology can sometimes make a smaller vessel far more dangerous than a much larger one. So starting at number 10, here we have the greatest warships ever produced by the Imperium. So the Apocalypse Class Battleship is at the 10th spot because it is one of the most dangerous conventional battleships still serving in the Imperial Navy. At first glance, its weapons may appear limited compared to other ships here. However, almost all of its main power is focused on powerful lance batteries and a massive Nova cannon. This makes the Apocalypse a specialist built to destroy enemy capital ships, unlike its cousins the Emperor class, which was mainly a carrier. Its lances are especially dangerous because they can strike through enemy defenses and burn directly into a ship's hull. Its Nova cannon is even more destructive and can wipe out entire groups of smaller escort ships with a single attack. The Apocalypse can therefore weaken an enemy fleet before the main battle has even begun. Another reason it ranks highly is its ancient construction. The technology needed to build many of its lance turrets has been lost to time, which means every surviving Apocalypse is a rare relic. Its weapons can be pushed to even greater range, although by doing this it might drain power from its engines and might make the ship slower. This weakness keeps it at number 10. The Apocalypse is extremely powerful, but it sacrifices speed when operating at maximum range. A similar vessel is the Victory Class Battleship, a rare and mysterious warship that appears to be an improved version of the Retribution class. The Victory is heavily armed with lance batteries and carries a Nova cannon as well, which gives it a weapon layout similar to the Apocalypse. However, its design is more advanced and remains shrouded in secrecy. Even the tech priests of Mars refuse to reveal its details, and also its origins. Some believe it was created during the Great Crusade as an attempt to copy the success of the Apocalypse while improving its overall combat ability. The Victory ranks above the Apocalypse because it combines powerful long-range weapons with a more developed battleship design. Its lances can cut through the armor of enemy capital ships, while its Nova cannon can devastate groups of smaller vessels. This gives it the ability to fight almost any type of enemy. One famous Victory class is the Blade of Judgment. After disappearing in the warp, it began appearing then and then again during battles without warning. It would help Imperial forces defeat the enemies and then vanish again. Such stories of the Victory class may not increase its normal firepower, but they do show how unusual this ship really is. At number 8 we have the Infernus Class Battleship, which was built on a scale that made ordinary battleships look small. During the Great Crusade and the Horus Heresy, it was considered a monstrous warship, larger than even the massive battle barges used by the Space Marine legions. Its hull was covered with weapon towers, huge cannons, and heavy armor. This gave it enough firepower to destroy entire fleets without needing much support. Unlike the Apocalypse and the Victory, which mainly focuses their power on long-range weapons, the Infernus was designed to overwhelm enemies from almost every direction. Its most dangerous weapon was a gigantic Exo Laser that ran through the length of the ship. This enormous spinal weapon could release incredible amounts of energy directly at the enemy. One surviving Infernus, called the Wicked Claw, was capable of destroying a Tyranid hive ship in only 2 shots. Since hive ships are enormous living warships that can reach around 20 kilometers long and can survive huge amounts of damage, being destroyed by 2 shots shows how powerful the Exo Laser of the Infernus Class Battleship really was. At number 7 we have the Ark Mechanicus. These ships are so enormous and advanced that they are closer to mobile forge worlds than ordinary warships. They travel across the galaxy searching for lost technology, especially standard template constructs or STCs. Because the Adeptus Mechanicus fill these ships with their greatest inventions, an Ark Mechanicus can possess weapons stronger and longer range than those carried by Imperial battleships. A normal Ark Mechanicus, or the run-of-the-mill, can carry a nova cannon, multiple lance batteries, and powerful weapon turrets. However, these are only the weapons that are understood or made known. Some arks contain strange devices that can manipulate gravity, electromagnetic forces, or even time itself. This means their true power can be impossible to predict. An enemy fleet can believe it is fighting a large battleship only to discover that the Ark Mechanicus possesses weapons based on scientific knowledge lost thousands of years ago. Their size is so difficult to imagine. Some are wider than an Imperial cruiser is long. Their interiors contain entire manufactoria. Their engines can be larger than many starships. The mass of an Ark Mechanicus can even create a gravity well similar to that of a small moon, and their defenses are equally impressive. And the Imperium may consider the destruction of an entire forge world acceptable if it can restore one of these vessels. And the Gloriana Class Battleship takes the number 6 spot because it was the ultimate flagship of the Space Marine Legions during the Great Crusade. These ships were enormous, ancient, and far more powerful than most warships built by the early Imperium, and they were all unique in their design. Many were already ancient relics when the Great Crusade began. Some may even have come from the Dark Age of technology, a forgotten era when humanity possessed machines and weapons far beyond the abilities of the modern Imperium. The Glorianas were used by the Primarchs and served as the center of entire Legion fleets. Famous examples include the Invincible Reason, the Conqueror, the Macrach's Honor, and even the Vengeful Spirit. Their huge size allowed them to carry enormous weapons, powerful defenses, thousands of warriors, and large numbers of small spacecraft. Their construction was incredibly expensive. Building a single Gloriana could require a large part of the industrial output of Mars. This shows that these were not ordinary battleships. They were unique military projects built with the best resources available to humanity and for the Primarchs, the demigod sons of the Emperor. And even in the modern era of the Imperium, a few still survive as priceless flagships and relics, and no warship that can be built currently can be considered at par with these. On the 5th spot we have the Dark Sovereign. This is one of the strangest and most dangerous warships ever used by the Dark Angels. Unlike the huge Gloriana class vessels, the Dark Sovereign was a unique predator ship recovered from the frozen surface of Ganymede by the Emperor himself. It came from the Dark Age of technology, which means its construction and weapons were far beyond the knowledge of modern Imperial engineers. Its smooth black armor had almost no visible features, giving it the appearance of a giant blade moving silently through space. Its weapons were especially terrifying. The Dark Sovereign carried vortex torpedoes, which used unstable forces to destroy targets in ways that normal weapons could not. It also possessed powerful cannons and an enormous network of void shields. During the Horus Heresy, it attacked the traitor forces of Zana and destroyed much of their enormous fleet of industrial ships. It also swept aside orbital defenses and captured valuable enemy vessels. This showed that the Dark Sovereign could attack heavily defended systems and still survive. It ranks above the Gloriana because its Dark Age technology gives it the ability that many larger ships cannot match. But hey, we might be wrong. It could be at number 6 and the Glorianas could be better. On the 4th spot we have the Ramilies Class Star Fort. This is most famously represented by the powerful watch fortress called Ariok. A Ramilies is not a normal ship, it is a gigantic semi-mobile space fortress that can support entire fleets. These structures are so large that they do not have ordinary engines. Instead, hundreds of tug vessels must pull them through the warp. This makes them really slow compared to the other ships here. But once a Ramilies class Star Fort reaches a battlefield, it becomes an almost impossible fortress to overcome. Each section of the Star Fort carries powerful weapon batteries and lance weapons. Its central area contains huge stores of torpedoes, while its launch base can deploy large numbers of attack craft. It can also repair and resupply ships as large as cruisers during battle. This means a Ramilies does more than fight. It can keep an entire fleet operating for years. Because of this, its arrival can shorten a military campaign by decades. The Watch Fortress Ariok shows how powerful these structures can be. Its surface is covered with massive cannons, missile launchers, plasma mortars, defense lasers, and launch bays. It also possesses enough firepower to destroy a battleship in one attack, or to break apart a small moon. At number 3 we have the Emperor's personal flagships. the Bucephelus and the Imperator Somnium. These ships represent two stages of the Emperor's power during the Great Crusade. The Bucephelus was a gigantic golden battle barge and a masterpiece of military engineering. It was so massive that it created its own gravity gradient. But later, the Emperor began using the Imperator Somnium. This ship was even more advanced and was built on Terra using secrets from the Dark Age of technology. It was enormous enough to dwarf ordinary Imperial battleships and was comparable in size to the huge orbital structures of Terra. Its weapons included 10 Nova cannons, powerful Volkite weapons and radiation warheads. The ship also contained advanced automation, which allowed it to be operated with only a crew of 3 custodians. The Somnium possessed another incredible ability. It has a cloaking system that could hide its huge mass and engine signals within the natural background radiation of space, and it could even hide nearby ships as well. This made a vessel the size of a fortress extremely difficult to detect. During the Horus Heresy, it managed to destroy 4 World Eaters heavy cruisers and an Emperor's Children battle barge before finally being overwhelmed by a huge trader fleet converging on this single vessel. On the second spot we have the Phalanx, and this takes the number 2 spot because it is not simply a warship, it is a mobile fortress the size of a small moon. This ancient vessel serves as the home of the Imperial Fist and has traveled across the galaxy for thousands of years. Its construction dates from before the founding of the Imperium, and the secrets used to build it have been lost forever. Even during the Great Crusade, the Phalanx was unlike anything humanity had ever created. Its enormous size gives it incredible military power. The ship is many kilometers long, and its foredeck is large enough to dock around 12 Imperial cruisers at once. Entire regions inside the Phalanx are used for training environments. This means that the Phalanx functions like a moving city, a fortress, and a warship at the same time. Every part of its outer surface is covered in heavy armor. It carries more torpedo launchers and lance batteries than any ordinary Imperial battleship, and its weapons can attack enemies from almost every direction, while its massive structure allows it to survive damage that would easily destroy smaller ships. Unlike the Ramilies Class Star Fort, though, the Phalanx can travel independently through the warp, and this gives it a far greater speed and flexibility. And its weapons are also top of the line and can destroy entire fleets when unleashed. So before we reach the number 1 spot, the rock here deserves a special mention. The rock is the surviving remnants of the planet Caliban and serves as the enormous fortress monastery of the Dark Angels. Unlike the Phalanx, which was built as a giant spacecraft, the rock began as a mountain and a fortress that survived the destruction of the entire world. The ancient defenses around the mountain protected it, allowing this huge fragment of Caliban to remain intact. The rock is larger than any conventional Imperial warship and carries enough weapons to destroy entire fleets. During the Battle of Midpoint, it was even capable of blasting powerful Eldar fleets into oblivion. Its massive structure is protected by force fields and powerful armor, while its warp engines allow it to travel across the galaxy. It is also surrounded by escorts including frigates, battle barges, battleships, and Thunderhawk squadrons. Its greatest advantage though may be the ancient technology hidden inside of it. The rock, however, isn't technically a constructed warship or a built Star Fort, as it is but the remnants of the destroyed homeworld of the Dark Angels, and that's why it is here in the notable mentions. And so at the number 1 spot is the Speranza, an Ark Mechanicus vessel so enormous that it is the size of a continent. Calling it a starship may feel inaccurate because it is closer to a mobile forge world. Its interior contains enormous manufactoria and industrial systems capable of producing weapons and machines while traveling through the void. However, its size is only one reason that takes it to the top spot. The true power though of the Speranza comes from its ancient STC, an intact STC, and the knowledge hidden within it. The Speranza contains a lot of things from the Dark Age of technology. Its weapons can manipulate time and create or control forces similar to black holes. This gives the ship abilities that ordinary warships cannot defend against. A powerful battleship can survive huge amounts of cannon, but void shields and armor becomes far less useful when an enemy can alter time or use the power of a black hole. Its machine spirit is also far more advanced. When the Speranza was activated, its awakening released enough energy to destroy the forge world of Palomar. This showed that even its birth was powerful enough to devastate an entire planet. During the Court of Crusade, the Speranza survived a conflict involving some of the most dangerous ancient technology ever discovered. The Phalanx may be a more heavily defended mobile fortress, and the Imperator Somnium may be the Emperor's greatest flagship, but the Speranza possesses reality-changing weapons as well as the size of a continent that makes all the others here lesser in comparison. And so those are the greatest and the most powerful Imperium warships ever in history of 40k. And with that we end this video. Now do hit the like button for support and also click that bell button for regular updates on new video uploads. Also subscribe to be a part of Legion Notebook. And till the next time, take care, boys.